and welcome to Lesson 4, Step 3. Check your photos ratio and change it to suit you. In Step 2, we looked at different ratios and how they look in different spaces in your home. In this very practical lesson, I'll go over how you can check your photos ratio on your camera and on your computer, and also how to change it if you want. Let's get started. You can check the aspect ratio of your photos even before you shoot them by knowing your camera and its ratio settings. As I mentioned in the intro to this lesson, all DSLR cameras use a 3:2 aspect ratio. At least all of the ones that I've ever heard of. Some mirrorless cameras and point-and-shoot cameras or phones may have other aspect ratios. For example, the Micro Four Thirds cameras from Panasonic and Olympus, they have a standard ratio of 4:3. Some cameras will have an option in settings where you could change the aspect ratio, but I don't recommend doing that. Your camera will already be set up to use as much of its sensor as possible, so just don't mess with it. If you do, you risk using less of the sensor than is possible, and that's also choosing for a lower resolution. The camera is basically cropping before you shot your photo. After you've shot your photos and uploaded them into your computer, you can check the aspect ratio with a bit of simple math. We talked about how to find your photo's resolution in pixels in Lesson 3. Well, once you know your photo's resolution, you simply divide the pixel count of the longer side by the pixel count of the shorter side to find its ratio. If the outcome is 1 or close to 1, you're dealing with a 1:1 ratio, a square. If it's at 1.3, you're dealing with a 4:3 aspect ratio. And if it's at 1.5, you have a 3:2 aspect ratio. The photo behind me measures 4,725 pixels by 3,150 pixels. If I divide 4,725 by 3,150, I get 1.5. That means that one side fits 1.5 times into the other. So it's a 3:2 ratio photo. But what if you don't want to hang a 3:2 ratio photo, but a photo with a 1:1 ratio? Well, with Photoshop, it's easier than you can imagine. Let's do it together. We can use the photo from the sunflowers that we looked together at in Step 2. First, find your photo and open it in Photoshop. Then simply select the crop tool and in the upper left corner, choose the aspect ratio from the drop-down menu, or set it yourself, filling in the numbers for the ratio that you want to try. The crop lines for that ratio will just appear. You can drag the photo within that aspect ratio to change the composition. You can also crop the photo within that aspect ratio. And when you're done, you hit enter and you save your photo with a new ratio. It's that easy. If you prefer Lightroom, you can use that program to change your photo's aspect ratio as well. Take a look. Here, you start by opening your photo in Lightroom. Then you go into the Developer tab and press Crop Overlay. There, you can set your aspect ratio and lock it if you want to make sure it's not going to change. Now crop your photo and hit the Crop Overlay button again to save your new composition. We've reached the end of Lesson 4. And your understanding of aspect ratios and photo prints is large. Larger than this photo print behind me, that's for sure. You've already learned so much in general that there are really only 2 lessons left in this e-course. In the next lesson, Lesson 5, we'll go over the final steps for turning your digital photos into photos you can enjoy on the wall in your home. It's all about those small choices that you make when you're saving your photos that can really impact the quality of your photo print. After that, Lesson 6 is called Beyond the Ordinary, and that's just what it is. It covers how to really get creative with your photo prints and go beyond what everyone else does. Lots of good stuff coming up, so I'll see you in Lesson 5. It's gonna be rawesome.